We are the species that has the ability to change because we are the species that has the ability to live outside of the laws of nature. We were given that free will, which just basically means that we get to test the boundaries of how far we can stray from the laws of nature and still survive and still have a sustainable planet. And we've done a pretty good job of that, I will say. And this community for conscious living is all about waking up to the job well done that we have done to this point and reining it back in, because honestly, if we want to have a sustainable future, if we want to have a planet that can survive, that can sustain our species, that can sustain all of other life on Earth, because it's not just about us, then we have to bring it back in to align ourselves to live with the laws of nature. And we have to, I mean, it's the same thing that will help us to really truly know ourselves and live according to who we are authentically. Our authentic selves, our highest self, aligned with nature, aligned with source. So whether it is your personal healing for your physical body, right? Because aligning with nature also means supporting the physical body, or whether it is any kind of emotional healing or any of that you want to do, a spiritual connection, any of that, all of it goes to the same place. All roads lead to Rome. It's about reining it in, living according to the laws of nature, living according to the truth of who and what we are created to be in order to heal ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and to live in harmony with the planet and create a sustainable future, a sustainable planet and a peaceful world, because all of the wars, all of everything else that's happened that, is about trying to dominate nature and trying to control each other. And that's not sustainable. We can't, right? And when you look at how our planet is evolving, how our humanity is evolving, how the consciousness is evolving, we are moving from this incredibly fragmented state that we've been in into a unity consciousness. And as we are evolving into this unity consciousness, so many things that are daily habits and practices that we've just bought into because it's what we were conditioned to do, we cannot sustain that and have a peaceful world. We've got to return to nature. We've got to return to align with nature, right? And yes, I get it. We live in the world we live in. And in order to really shift into this unity consciousness, there are going to be some systemic changes in the systems that govern the way that we live on planet Earth. They've got to come into harmony and alignment with nature. And that begins with our daily practices and the things we put our energy behind, the things that we align with, the things that we care about, the things that we support financially, and the things that we demand, right? So when we start making choices that bring things back into nature, we are affecting change, no matter how small or how great, right? We are affecting change on the planet. It begins with us. So today, our topic is, yes, related to all that I just said. Our topic today is about releasing the masks that we wear so that we can show up and be our authentic selves. Really, how we take on a lot of masks as we're living on this planet because we are so conditioned. We are so outside of the natural world and our harmony with nature that the situations we get into, one after another, are uncomfortable situations. If you remember, I have a couple of nephews starting middle school this year, and they just started school last week. And oh boy, it just brings back that was the hardest time for me. And I know I put on some serious masks to be who I thought I was supposed to be so that I could fit in, so that I could survive, so that I could, feel like I wasn't going to die going into this foreign world. And, that's one of many masks. I don't know if you can think back to your middle school and how that might have been for you, or maybe it was grade school, maybe it was high school, maybe it was college. We put on masks to be who we think we're supposed to be in order to fit in order to thrive, in order to succeed, in order to survive. And that kind of like it comes from an integrated templating and patterning into our consciousness. And then it's like trying to take that and to fit into another pattern, right? It takes us out of our authentic self. But we identify with those kind of things and we do it or whatever happens to be in that environment, we do it for survival, right? We do it because it's what's needed to do at the time. When we don't need it anymore, there's still a part of that sticks, right? And we carry that forward to the next one. When we get that first job or that first very serious relationship or becoming a parent or a grandparent or a widow or, whatever we have, you can say each one of those words. And I bet that a bunch of pictures pop up in your head or images about what that looks like, a bunch of ideas about who that person is or who they need to be, right? Whether you're in, a student, a parent, a grandparent, a widow, a career executive, or, whatever it is, whatever your career happens to be, or your job, right? Whatever your roles in the world are, you take on masks. We take on masks, not just you. We take on masks that imprint us with, okay, here's who we're going to be and how we're going to show up in this situation. Underneath all those masks is your authentic self. And your authentic self still gets to operate through those masks, but the masks, they can, they support us and they also put up limitations. And they keep us from really just showing up as that true, sincere, authentic self that we feel best when we are being, that we really yearn to be, because that's where we feel the best. Honestly, that's where we feel the safest, even though, we think that we're not going to be safe, so we put on these masks. But honestly, where we feel the safest is when we can be true to the authentic self and really be sincere and come from our hearts. So in today's meditation and healing circle, we're going to do some exploration around, all right, what does it, like, what masks are we wearing and how are they supporting us? And is there a part of them that's ready to be released so that we can really show up as, revealed as our authentic selves, and that place where we can be the most solid in who we are, the most comfortable, and the most safest. All right, so let's go ahead and come into our meditation and healing circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side.